week we are going to be mixing things up quite a bit. As you guys can see, we have a new channel name. I'm sure we're going to get questions about that. So it's just a slight kind of rebrand, if you will. We're no longer Quantum Apotheosis. We are now Quantum TV, just because I was getting a lot of complaints about the name being a little too complicated for a lot of people to say and define. So after months and months and years of honestly just getting that feedback, I decided, you know what the hell, it's time to rename. And so we went ahead with that. So if you are noticing, that's what that's all about. Now, I'm going to be doing something different this live stream. Normally, I try to just stick with answering questions that I do get in the actual live stream itself. Now this time around, I want to do kind of like a first, because I don't see a lot of people doing this, and I think this is a good way to make sure we're covering more ground and get all of your questions answered, because even in the hour, I don't really have that kind of time and that ability. So I wanted to reach out a little bit more to you guys. So what I'm going to start off doing is reading your comments throughout the week, because I have been gone for about a week, and I wanted to make sure that, I'm not ignoring you guys or blowing you guys off or anything like that. So welcome to tonight's live stream, and thank you guys for coming out. Now we have a comment on the comment section here by Alpha J. He says, how would you rank the 900F 950G and the Q80R? Now, if I had to rank these TVs, I would say that the Q80R would be above the 950G, then the 950G, and then last it would be the 900F. Now, we have a question coming in from Natter on the community section here of the comments here. All the stuff I'm reading so far are just going to be comments until you guys start filling up the feed, and then we'll go back and forth. And the question is this. It's, hey, can you do a video on how to calibrate this TV for the best image? Now, as far as calibrating the Sony X950G for the best image, I'm not going to be able to provide ways of how to actually calibrate. I have walkthroughs on how to help you get the best out of your image quality. I've given out brief settings, but I won't be going that far in depth with the Sony X950G. Reason for that being, for those who have watched my latest video about the review where I did, again, just the in-depth comparison, I ran into a very nasty glitch where, again, my screen just kept zooming in, and it just was really annoying. And then that compiled with Google's, like, very anti-consumer approach, like, almost like we will force you to accept our terms and conditions. They're still rolling with that. And because they're rolling with that, I'm out. So we've got Anthony, and Anthony was asking for the 55-inch 900E. He was saying it has motion problems, and he was saying it was the same with the Infinity War scene. So I'm not the only person running into that problem that I mentioned in my review earlier today, where, again, there was just this weird motion blurring thing that was going on, and I couldn't really figure out how or why Sony's motion was getting worse as time got onward instead of getting better. So very interesting. Now, over here in the live chat, we have a question from Mike. What's going on, man? Thanks for coming out tonight. You said, I have a KS8000. Is it worth getting it professionally calibrated? It sometimes is and is not worth getting a television professionally calibrated, depending on how you watch it. If all you're going to do is play video games or maybe just watch movies lightly, and you're not the kind of person to sit there and pick out every little detail, and you're not very, like, strict with how you like your colors and image overall, it's not worth it. But if you're an image purist and you're just always going to nitpick at the smallest little details like myself, then yeah, you probably want to get it professionally calibrated. Now, the second part of this, you were saying, I like the picture I have now, but I was wondering if it could get much better. And that's the thing. Most people think that professional calibrations, I mean, even myself included, before I started doing this for a living, I thought that it was one of those things that magically changed your picture beyond anything that you were capable of. And that is a myth. In fact, all you're doing is changing the white balance to help colors fall a little bit more in line with a warmer skin tone. That's usually what you're doing. And by warming up the colors, you're able to open up more shades of color. It basically helps you warm up the colors while opening up more of the color space accurately instead of doing it sloppily, which is what, just throwing it in warm 2 and just calling it a day would do. So that's kind of like, it's a yes and no type deal. It could get much better depending on how far off of the white balance that your television was, but ultimately it's not necessary for everyone. Now, moving back over to the comment section here, I don't really know how to read this person's name. It's Pono Jazz. And he says that, and this is referring to my Dolby Vision video where I'm talking about it's not important yet. And he was saying that he completely disagrees with me on this one, and he was saying he saw the difference between Dolby Vision and standard HD, which he was saying is a night and day difference. Now, I have to pause right here because anyone that knows anything about televisions knows that you don't want to be comparing Dolby Vision to HD, standard HD. That is literally, okay, 720p, because FHD is 1080p, or yeah, so 1080p. So I mean, really, you're comparing a 720p source to a Dolby Vision, which I can only imagine is obviously 4K. Out the gate, that's already an erroneous way to go about doing things. And he goes on to saying that he agrees that those who have expressed the release of Dolby Vision content before future displays, yada yada. He's just basically saying that he thinks that it's a benefit, and he kind of disagrees, which is fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but at the end of the day, it's one of those things where it's like, listen, guys, Dolby Vision is a gimmick on a 10-bit panel. That's like me telling you that I'm going to give you, you know, $500 in the lotto, not telling you that there's also sales tax on top of that. So really, at the end of your take home is going to be lower than that. You know what I mean? It's a false kind of, yeah, you'll get some benefit, but it's not going to be to the full extent that I'm promising you. And I think that's the thing we need to focus on when we're talking about Dolby Vision. So food for thought there. Now, switching back over into the live chat, we've got Mike. He was saying, great answer. I appreciate the honesty and a real answer. Yeah, I appreciate you appreciating honesty. That's what we do here, so most definitely want to thank you for, again, just showing the support, man. And welcome to everybody who has come on since, again, starting the live stream. Now, we've got a question coming in, or maybe, I guess, a statement. We'll figure out which in the comment section. Now, this is on my review from earlier today. It's from White and Nerdy Tuba. He says, my mom's Sony that is a couple years old is updated itself and you can no longer use it. Yikes. He was saying Netflix, etc., without signing into a Google account out of nowhere. And so, yeah, this is kind of addressing more of what I was pointing out in my video, where Sony, again, very aggressive with Google's terms of service and forcing people to comply with that, whether they're using their TV online or offline. It is a very disgusting practice that currently, right now, to my knowledge, Sony is the only one that is implementing it to that degree. And I'm pretty sure maybe other Android TVs, but the main thing is, out of the big three competitors, Sony is going really aggressive with this approach. I know when I got my Samsung Q8FN, I was able to pop it on. They have their terms and conditions, but you can say no to that, and it just keeps you offline until you agree, which I prefer a plug-and-play method, where Sony basically bricks your TV out. You will not move past Google's terms of service until you submit and say, yes, my master's over at Google. I submit to everything you want to say to me, and I absolve you of any guilt or of anything like that. So it's definitely something that I think in the long run is going to hurt Sony's business model. The more people like me expose that and, again, put it out there. So I really hope that more people start doing that. Now, let's go on to M310. On the same video, he was saying Samsung for the win. To be honest, I don't really go and brand influence or brand ambassador for anything, so I don't really care who wins, to be honest. If you feel like Samsung won or is for the win, that's, you know, hey, food for thought. That's something good for you, I guess. Who knows? Now, let's go ahead and read some of the comments in our live stream here. We've got Healthful Servant. Healthful Servant. What's going on, man? You said, hi, Quantum. For 4K, UHD, Blu-ray, Netflix, and some older movie formats, mostly in a dimly lit room. You were saying sometimes in a bright room and, well, what is it? Daylight room. And then you were saying on extreme occasions, video games. You were saying, what do I recommend, or would I recommend the Q8FN or another TV? Picture quality and motion are the most important, of course. I would say, yeah, I mean, the Q8FN is the best all-around TV that I've come across, where you can go and you can use it in the darkest room possible without any real complaints. You can use it in a bright room without any real complaints. Again, go watch my real-time peak brightness test on this. I do have it set up in the playlist for anybody out there that wants to see real-time tests instead of the closed-door tests, you can see it in real time. This thing hits well over 1900 nits, no problem whatsoever. So it's great in a bright room. But then the local dimming algorithm is really, really dark. And for reference, go check out the Sony X950G versus the Q8FN video that I have up, and you'll see just how badly the Sony X950G got beat. I mean, it was pretty bad. And I think that's one of those things that we have to consider when we're talking about darkroom and lightroom. So yeah, it's definitely a good TV. Now, that being said, I do think there are some strong potential candidates on the horizon that can absolutely become absolute juggernauts. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm looking towards, like, I'm thinking about giving Vizio a chance this year just because what they seem to be offering seems pretty good, and I want to investigate it for myself. You know, obviously, I hate the company. I think they're skeezy. I'm still currently blocked on their Facebook page just simply for voicing having a problem with a product. Yes, you heard me right. Having a problem with a product, and like an idiot, I'm still considering giving these fools my money. That is how bad the market is. But then, let's be real here. Samsung recently pushed patches to my television, even though Wi-Fi was off, and Sony has done a very similar thing. So it's basically all of these big manufacturers are a part of the problem. They're all too big for their own pants, you know what I mean? And they're going to keep crapping on consumers because most people are very submissive by nature. Now, massive shout out to Daniel G. Perez for your donation of $20. As you know, it definitely helps us out, brother. I really do appreciate it. Now, I did want to clear the air here for a lot of people that don't know why we do donations and why they're so important here on the channel. Needless to say, more often than not, when you're looking at YouTubers, all of them are usually sponsored in some way, shape, or form, which is why you see review units and review samples. We don't do any of that trash here. I'm going to give you a real person, and I'm going to give you a real opinion based off of my professional experience with years of calibration. So, you know, if you like that honesty and you want to help keep that going, definitely help us out with the donation because we are 100% self and crowdfunded. So I definitely appreciate it, Daniel. It was really, really kind of you to do that for us today, man. I appreciate it, man. Much love. Now, if we're talking about, again, the overall just picture quality between various TVs, I gotta make something clear before we continue on with the stream. You know, wherever you are, however you feel about televisions, it's important to know that we're not biased on anything, right? If you like OLED, great. Power to you. They make some great OLEDs out there. But with everything, whether it's LED, Quantum.TVs, whatever it is, we are going to talk about them fairly. And I mean truly fairly, and that's the whole idea behind this. So this is what we're all about, and this is what we're going to do. Now, when we go into... oh, big shout out, by the way, to... Real is back too. Big shout out to you for deleting what definitely appears to be a troll. I'm looking at what looks to be like 10 comments in succession. So thank you so much, brother, for helping us keep our community clean and free of people who are just trying to create chaos and hatred. That's not what we're about here. And we're really just trying to have, again, helpful conversations. So I want to thank you for that, man. Now, let's go ahead and answer some more questions. We have Eric Cantu, I hope I said your name right. You said, I have a Sony X900F and I need a new TV. You were saying for the other room, I really enjoyed the 900F, but I hear a lot of people, or you say you hear a lot about the 900E. Would I recommend saving the money and going with the 900E instead? Yes. The 900F, sadly, even though it has the X1 Extreme chip, it's a brighter television and it has better sharpness and clarity overall, suffers from one massive problem that the 950G suffered from, and that is nerfed black levels to help the OLED line, or the Bravia OLED line, stand out a lot more. And honestly, it's Sony's new attempt to try to get you into their more expensive products, so they're only giving you half of the full array experience, where even the entry-level guys like Vizio and TCL are trying so much harder to give you what you're looking for that money. So I think that's, again, another important thing about going forward and looking at televisions. Don't be afraid to take your hand and try at a 900E, because I'm telling you, I was surprised to see just how badly the 900E was beating the 950G. Now, whether the video represented that correctly or not, because of course limited dynamic range plays a part, YouTube compression and all that, but I'm telling you, I was actually surprised to see a 2017 TV keep up so well with the X1 Ultimate chip. That was like mind-boggling stuff for me. Now, what's going on, Ray? What's happening? You said any recommendations for a solidly built center stand for 55 inches. I don't actually have recommendations per se for media consoles and media stands. Honestly, dude, I just went to Big Lots and I bought myself a nice big media console that could accommodate a 65-incher, because I know as a person I would never in my life go any higher or any bigger than 65 inches. So that was kind of where I drew the line in the sand, like, okay, that's it. So, I mean, you got to go off of those requirements, but you can find some pretty good deals on Big Lots, and I mean, I'd recommend it. Don't be afraid to be a little savvy. I know there are a lot of guys that will try to spend the most amount of money, like, oh, I've got this new $1,000 media console. I paid $250. It's not that bad, you know what I mean? And it's a nice, big, wooden, beautiful media console. So what more could you want? Cabinets and drawers and whatever you need, you know? That's just kind of me, though. So I guess it would kind of more go suited to your taste, if you would. All right, so now we're going to go and answer a question from Kirk. What's going on? You said, yo, 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 what's happening, man? It's nice to see you tonight. We got The Real is back, too. You said teamwork makes the dream work. That's for sure. I appreciate your help, man. I really do. It gets hard, you know. I'm just one person here, you know, running a stream with people on it and again, going through comments. So all of you guys that are moderators that help out, I really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. So if you see people spreading that hatred, polluting your community with nonsense, just get rid of it so we don't have childish conversations. You know what I mean? What's going on, Dry Bones? You said, yo, Mike, I appreciate seeing, again, more of the love going out to you guys, you know, just sharing love with each other. That's really cool, man. We've got Stuart Kirk. You said they can try. Yeah, I mean, with you guys on the job, they can try to get through, but you guys are definitely on it, man. I appreciate it. Dry Bones, you said you have the KS8000. You said, yes, I do have the KS8000. Is there a question in particular about it? Because, you know, I got you covered. What's going on, Troy? You said you're saying to Eric, you were talking about the 900E, and you were saying it is still an awesome option, which I totally agree with. And another good one would be the Q8, and I 100% back that up all the way, for sure. Now, we've got... I keep messing up your name every week. Catch, what's going on, man? You said, what up, Q? New York here. What's going on, New York? Florida in the house. What's happening? What's happening? Nice to see you stop by, man. And what's going on? Let's see. You told me how to say your name, and I'm just gonna say Chin. You know, I'm just gonna say Chin. So, what's going on, Chin? Nice to see you stop by today, man. I really appreciate it. And then we've got Daniel. You said, damn, brother, I want to stay, but I got to go back to work. Aw, man, that really sucks, but no worries, bro. I mean, here, why don't we do this? You go shoot on over to the Facebook page, drop me your number, and I can give you a call. You just got to let me know when you're free, and I'll try to sync it up with my schedule to try to see when we can have a conversation, man. And we can just talk, bro. Don't worry about it. If you're not able to make it in, it's not a big deal. I mean, I know we all got to work. Hell, I had to start the stream late today because I just got in from work. So I appreciate it most definitely that even still you want to be a part of the community and all that good stuff. So thanks, man. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, man, just drop me your number or something, and I'll definitely hit you up, man. Now, let's go ahead and look at some comments here in the weekly comments section here, because it's kind of massive here. So we've got I'm Him 247, and this is on the 950G video. He was saying, I like Batman and WWE video games showing, LOL. He said, wish Sony would put more effort into TVs, which I completely agree with. And I actually, too, like Batman and WWE video games. I think they're both a lot of fun, and I really do wish they would put a lot more effort into their TVs. Shame that. We've got, what's going on? Mashin, an hour ago on the Sony X950G review, you said, do Q8 versus the X950G. I do have a Q8FN versus the 950G video up, so that's definitely something, if, again, you guys aren't aware of, definitely go in the backlogs and check it out, because I definitely got some good stuff for you guys. Now, moving back over to the live chat, we've got Daniel. You said that would be fantastic, man. Mad love, brother, most definitely. Hey, drop me a line. I'll definitely hit you with the phone number, we'll talk and have a good conversation. And for any of you guys out there that are wondering and watching, just hit me up with a phone number. And if you use your real name that's separate from your YouTube name, just let me know who you are, so that way I know who I'm talking to, and then, you know, I can go from there. But I'm okay with talking to you guys, man. You know, we're a community. That's what it's all about here. A direct line, a direct form of communication. If you have a question, if you need to call me, you need to talk to me, we can talk. There's phones for that reason. So I'm not, you guys will learn, like, I'm not like most YouTubers, man. Like, I'm the coolest dude you'll meet. I'm very chill, very outgoing. Like, you need help, I will help you. That's what I'm here for. So again, that's what makes me different from all the other guys. They're just in it for, again, sponsoring and selling you out. I mean, you guys are really, I'm with you guys just as much as I'm with my family, to be very honest with you. I kid you not, it's so bad to the point where, like, I shit you not, 3 o'clock, like, it was probably more like 3:40 last night. My wife was sleeping. She gets up and she's like dead tired. I'm like trying to sneak around the house because I'm done. I've had it. For those that wanted to know, I'm done. I've had it with the Sony X950G. I got rid of it. I got rid of it because ultimately the whole Sony pushing me and certain buttons didn't really work, as you guys could see from the review today. I didn't like it. And then the zooming in issue was just not happening. So, of course, it went back. But my wife at 3 o'clock in the morning is dragging this thing in there, and I felt so bad because I'm just trying to do this without her. But, I mean, like, we really put a lot of effort into the community. So I appreciate, like, just, you know, seeing you guys show the support. Because, I mean, my wife may not be running the channel, but she definitely helps drag these TVs up and down the stairs. And my poor wife, I got to put her through all this, you know. So, definitely something that, you know, I feel bad about, but it's something I do as a public service for you guys, so. And she's totally cool about it, so that always helps. Now, what's going on, Michael? What's happening? You said, hey man, just wanted to say thanks for all that you do. You said rocking your settings on the Q6FN, and it's fantastic. Only weird thing is slow pans I get rid of. You were saying, I can't get rid of this hiccuping in the motion. Any tips? And that's kind of like the thing I'm dealing with too. I appreciate you using my settings, by the way. With the hiccuping in motion, I've ran into that too. It's just the display. There's not really much you can do with the stuttering motion. Even my Q8 is not immune to that, and it is something that I really do hate. That does happen. Now we've got Orlando. What's happening? You said thanks for all the truth and wisdom that you bring to your channel, and you were saying utmost respect to you. And I have respect for that comment as well. Most definitely appreciate anyone that, again, wants to keep things on the up and up and is a straight shooter like myself. So mad love, man. We've got the dry bones. You were saying my first had horrible DSE and my second one arrives tomorrow. I guess you're talking about a television, like maybe something like, I would imagine, since this DSE, maybe a Q80R or a Q8FN. I wish you best of luck, man. I really do. These TVs just aren't made like they used to be made. I mean, they have newer features, better brightness, but they come with a whole new set of problems for sure. What's going on, Pyro 1997? You said, hey, Quantum, just got my first QLED TV, and it's gorgeous, or it looks gorgeous in person. And yeah, that was my thing, dude. Like, I think, like, going from a regular, like, just 4K television and then stepping up into something that's like Quantum Dot is just unbelievable. And it has to be a certain type of Quantum Dot, and the way Samsung does it, I do like the way Samsung does it. They wrap it in metal and it has that little, like, look to it, and I think that's really good. Not a plug for Samsung or any of that nonsense, but they do look good in person. Now, Mariano, what's going on, man? You said Quantum. What up, brother? What's going on, man? Nice to see you show up tonight. Thanks for coming out. You're saying, how are you doing, man? I'm doing really good, man. I just got off of a vacation, as you know, man. I was having so much fun. We went out there to Apopka, and they had this water springs called, what was it? It was like Kelly Park and then Wakiva. And you know, we've been to the Kelly Park before, but we never been to the Wakiva before. The Wakiva was pretty small, and there wasn't a whole lot to do there, right? It was just kind of like you walk around, but they had a nice boarding trail. We saw like the most gorgeous dragonfly I'd ever seen. It was like this like rainbow greenish color. It was very weird. And then it had black wings, and it was just like a unicorn out there. It was crazy. And, you know, we went out to, what was it, the Kelly Park out in Apopka. And I tell you, man, those damn horseflies are aggressive, I tell you. They just bit me so hard and so aggressive all over. But at the end of the day, it was totally worth it. And you guys are probably going to laugh at me for you guys that already knew this, but I'm a noob, okay? I'm a noob at life. I'm a youngin', alright? I didn't exactly know this, but apparently horseflies have fangs like spiders. I didn't know this, okay? And so my wife sends me this YouTube video, and they break out those fangs on the video, and they just dig into you, and she was like, that's what was happening to us. I was like, oh my god, I'm never going back. But, you know, c'est la vie. So yeah, man, I'm doing pretty good. It's good to be back, and it's good to hear from you, most definitely, Mariano. So thanks, man. Troy, what's going on? You were saying, LOL, it's funny. Are you justifying why we have phones? I don't know, man. Maybe. Sometimes. I don't know. I know there are some people that has to know that. They have to know that, you know, it's an open line of communication. What's going on, Michael? You said you're the best, man. I appreciate it. You were saying, only TV guru I watch. Thanks for your gifts to your TV community. Mad respect, man. You guys are really showing the love tonight, and I really appreciate it, man. All you guys coming out. And again, welcome to anyone who's just now coming on to the stream. We've got Stingia. What's going on? You said, does backlight flicker have anything to do with motion? Yes and no. Sometimes it can be tied directly to black frame insertion, or BFI as it's also called, which basically just makes your screen really dark, and then there's this weird pulsating flicker light. Multiple manufacturers will call it something different. I know Sony calls it their, what is it? They just stick with motion flow for all of this stuff, and it's clearness 1 or 2. Well, nowadays it would be clearness 2 on the newer TVs like the 950G, but back in 2017 it was clearness 1. And so that would activate the backlight flickering type deal. And then when you get over into like the Samsung side of things, I think they call it like clear motion LED or something like that. But yeah, it does have something to do with it. And at the same time, it kind of doesn't, because sometimes it could be tied to a defect. I know sometimes backlight flickering is a part of a local dimming algorithm issue. I experienced that with the Q7FM. And I experienced that with the TCL R617, and even experienced that with some Q8FNs, believe it or not. Early stage Q8FNs, I experienced that issue where the backlight was just kind of flickering, and it was very weird. So it can happen. Now, granted, of course, this is all like completely random. It could be any different brand that has it, but yes. And you were saying like the Q8FN is 240 hertz, and the 900F has 720. Yeah, I think that you're just kind of talking about the black frame insertion. What's going on, Stuart? You were saying the 900E update yesterday seems to have broken the DTS sound. Yikes. Yeah, I've pretty much sworn off of updates. There's no need to do them. I mean, we all can kind of establish at this point anyway, and I'm not like knocking you or anything, bro, but I'm just saying, like, at this point we can all kind of establish, like, with Apple getting taken down for this kind of stuff, and like Vizio caught for spying, and like all this other stuff, like pushing updates to TVs, like these manufacturers are not your friends, right? They don't care about us, and they're going to do everything in their power to make you buy next year's television. It's a business model that is cancerous at best, and they're going to do it because it makes them money. It's the thing that kind of keeps their expansions adding on to their homes, and, you know, them being able to extend their retail, or not even just their retail, just their overall business portfolios. It's a business move, and it's crappy. It really is. And I really feel bad for people that think that I'm this, like, you know, Chicken Little type guy, the sky is always falling, or, you know, danger, danger, you know, the boy who cried wolf, right? But at the end of the day, when it happens to them, I feel so sorry for them, because I tried to tell you. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I really hate that happened, where they seem to have broken that, man. That's really crappy, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm going to probably butcher your name. I'm going to apologize in advance. We are going to say Kaita F. Let me know how you say your name. I think I messed it up, though. You said the 43-inch Q60R is actually LSP panel with QLED. What do you think of that combination? I mean, I don't really think anything about it, to be honest with you. I just see a bunch of downgrades from, like, really what we saw last year. And that's really my big thing. Like, really? You couldn't add local dimming? How petty, you know? I don't know. The little things add up for me. What's going on, Michael? You were saying off topic. What's your favorite movie and why? Whoa, that's a weird question. That's really good. I mean, I don't really have a favorite movie. I mean, I'm trying to think of one movie that I watch a lot, and nothing comes up. I don't have a favorite movie. I just don't. I watch too much. and I like too many movies. So, I mean, if I had to guess, it'd probably be anime, like a various amount of anime movies. But I mean, the only reason why, I guess, is because I like a deep, rich story, and the emotions behind the anime is just really great. And one thing about anime, the art never lies, right? You never get a bad drawing of an emotion, right? It's always super dramatic. Where people, bad acting is a thing with people, and you're like, oh my gosh, you did not, you know? And so that's just why I stick to the anime scene. But that's just me as a person. What's going on, Troy? What's happening? You said, please don't do updates, people. QA has shown numerous times on his own TVs that they usually only nerf TVs when newer models get released. Yeah, I mean, I would listen to Troy. He definitely knows what he's talking about here, and I appreciate you, again, just kind of echoing what I'm saying. Like, I really have shown numerous times, like, and it costs me so much money because I have to drag these things back down the stairs, down to UPS, you know, and drop them off myself physically sometimes when they, you know, don't pick up the television. So it's very inconveniencing for a lot of people if you're within your, you know, return period. But now for the person who's not, and you're out of warranty, then they just potentially just jacked up your TV, and you know they're not going to fix it. So that's the thing, like, I'm still really, you guys are going to laugh at me, but I'm still really salty about what happened with my Samsung KS8000 from 2016. When that thing launched, it was a monster that could rival OLED in the best sense possible. Right down to when HDR kicked on, an HDR indicator popped up to the top and the banner, and it would say, you know, HDR on, and after updates they took that away, and then the black levels got worse. Like, I regret the hell out of ever updating that TV ever, like, so thoroughly much. If I regret anything I've ever done with the TV in the history of ever, it's updating that TV. Like, my God, what a mistake that was. So yeah, don't update your TVs, guys. I would definitely listen to myself and Troy on this one, because you're only jacking yourself up for their profit. What's going on, Joe? You said, hi, have had the chance to check out have I had the chance to check out the new Vizio Quantum X? No, I have not, but I am planning on buying it if ever I can save enough money to get that bad boy. It's pretty expensive, as you guys know. I'm trying my hardest to figure out how I can get my hands on one. Oh, excuse me here. I'm trying my hardest to figure out how I can get my hands on one. But at the end of the day, it's just really difficult. It's one of those things that they set the price point pretty high, I'm not gonna lie. So it was probably gonna take me a little while, but that's alright though. I think I could do it. I don't know yet, but I think I could do it. Either way, yeah, I want to see it with my own eyes. I want to see the glory of, you know, what's... it's weird too if you read the specs on that thing. You know, 2700 nits. I think actually I've got the specs here, saved here. Let me see if I can go into... I don't know if it's going to be here or if it's going to be on the actual phone here. Let's see. Yeah, I got the specs here, so check this out, guys. For the, what is it? The P-Series Quantum X, for the 65-inch, they're sporting 384 zones of local dimming and 300 nits is what they're advertising, or ultra bright 3000. Now, oddly enough, when you go up to the 75-inch, which is more expensive, you get more zones at 480, but the brightness now drops to 2700. And I've got to say, I kind of commend Vizio for being smart enough to know that you need to lower the brightness level when you start going up to screen size, because that's more area to cover with light, and that leads to more uniformity issues. Like, I think that's a really smart move. But now the only thing I'd be worried about is that 384 zone count, because then with 3000 nits on the 65-incher, you might actually be opening up yourself to more blooming, but we'll never know. And what's going on, Kelly Ravad? What's happening? You said, what's up, my man? Welcome back. What's up? Glad to see you. Thanks for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. All right, so let's see if we have more questions here. I got to scroll down here a second. The Real is Black too says he is not lying. Yeah, most definitely. Now, we've got Dry Bones. You said, I've mentioned on your channel about it once, and you said no one in the forum talks about it. Permanent smudges on the KS8000. You were saying no cleaning solution. Oh, wow. So there's just like permanent smudges that happen. I've actually heard of that before, and I've actually seen it like once or twice where some people actually even got like image retention on their KS8000, and I actually got a mild form of it in the form of an LED light, and the bottom right corner is just this little tiny miscoloration, and I don't know what the hell happened, and it's just in the shape of a singular LED. It's not a dead pixel, it's like what looks like one of the LED lights kind of like burned into the screen. So, you know, we talk all that trash about OLED, but Samsung's definitely not up to the same task when it comes to quality control as we see with these kinds of situations. So yeah, I could agree with that on that one. What's going on, Michael? What's happening? You said, yeah, man, I live in Northeast and horse flies, man. I wish I could snap half of them. Oh, man, you're doing that Thanos quote right there. Yeah, man, why don't we just snap our fingers and boom, they're all gone, you know? Man, life would be so easy. Look at Poison Ivy. She's about to do it. Just like this. Just like that, right? That's how we ought to do it, and they're all gone, you know what I mean? That's what I wish would happen. All right, so we've got Miss Quentin Tarantino. You said, hello, Quantum. What's going on? You said, thank you for all the information. Just got my 65-inch Q8F in. Very good. That's a very good TV to have. 65-inch must be glorious. I wouldn't know. I'm on the 55er, but even still, power to you. We've got Healthful Servant. You were saying, thanks for everything you do, man. I appreciate you showing the love, man. And you were saying, really appreciate what you do. And what's going on, Kirk? You said, do you guys get bad micro blocking on satellite TV? Yeah, if any of you guys have that answer to that question, help them out, because I don't have satellite TV. I haven't actually done satellite TV in years. I use Hulu and Netflix exclusively, so I would not know, to be honest. And Michael says, Miyazaki for the win. Dude, respect for anime. Look at my guy go. He said Miyazaki? Dude, you know I've got all the Miyazaki films damn near, right? Like, come on. Miyazaki in the house. That's really cool. Like, here I am thinking like my wife and I are the only people that like really love Miyazaki, so I like to see the support for that, man. Definitely respect for anime. Mad props, bro. What's going on? Real is back too. You said anime is where it's at. That's what's up. Look at my anime guys showing up. I appreciate that. We got 1997, Pyro 1997. You said I have a 43-inch version of the Q60R, and my gaming experience while playing on Nintendo Switch in game mode is fantastic. And you're saying, which I posted 2 videos on my YouTube channel as proof that I own one. I'm sure your experience can be fantastic, but I can't use YouTube as a way of measuring a television because of limited dynamic range. Like, I'm not trying to knock you or anything that you do. I'm just saying, like, I know, like, from experience only working on it and seeing it with TV shows, not gaming. I can't tell you, like, the gaming experience because I haven't had it for a personal use type thing, but I can tell you, like, from what I've seen, I mean, it's all right. It's okay, but it's not like, oh my god, this is the next big thing. I think for that money you bought with the Q6, I think maybe you probably would have been better off with Hisense or Vizio. Just saying. But I know there are some people that don't want those lower tier names, and they probably want to stick to, again, even having the higher refresh rate control through FreeSync and all that. And, you know, that'd be great, but they don't even do that. Like they're very bitchy almost, like with how they go about giving you out that technology. So that's not even a real benefit. Low input lag is still celebrated, but ultimately, I don't know, man. Samsung's got some lemon pledge to do, especially when it comes to their TV line. They used to be like really good and then got bad, and now this year they're just bad. Like it's really bad. Now, what's going on, Mariano? You said, sorry if this isn't the place, QA. You were saying excited about E3. Oh, brother. This is the live stream. This is, you know, this is gossip hour. Us dudes just talking about whatever, man. It's always the place. If you guys feel like there's a question you have out there, please do not feel like it's inappropriate. Ask away. Even if it's politics, don't care. I will try to give the most YouTube-friendly version of my answer. That being said, yeah, I'm not really excited about E3. I used to get excited about those events. Like, I would sit there, I would, like, get my snacks ready. I'd be like, oh, snap, I would take the day off of work. I mean, this goes back, way back even when I was, like, doing college. I was supposed to, like, take college classes, and I'm just, like, skipping out, you know, taking sick days just to watch E3. Like, it was that bad. But, I mean, it's to the point now where now I don't even care, because every E3, they come out, and they waltz out very lazily, and they're like, all right, so what we're going to do now is show you guys some awesome gameplay of this one game running on PC. And it's supposed to be a console game, and I throw my hands up. And I feel like this year they're just going to be like cloud services, streaming, digital gaming. That's the future. And to me, I'm like, bro, to hell with that. I don't like digital games. I like physical games. Physical games is where it's at. I grew up on, you know, PS1 and, you know, Super Nintendo and all that cool stuff, Game Boy Color, okay? Like, I'm not that dude that wants to be online and have DRM tell me what I can and cannot play. Do you guys know this? I don't even know if you guys know this. If you go too long without updating your Xbox, literally none of your games will work, physical or digital. That's what they want for you. And I'm not about that life, like, at all. I think it's crazy. I'm, like, super disenchanted by it. And, we need to hit that Thanos snap. Poison Ivy, show us how it's done. There you go. Just like that. And just half the population that thinks like that, just boom, gone. Because that's a bad idea, man. You don't give nobody that kind of control over you. You know what I mean? That's just too crazy. Now, we've got Catch. What's going on? You said your videos are the reason why I got the Q8 65-inch. Hey, man, I'm glad I'm able to help. I mean, I know it seems, I guess, because I'm really passionate about, like, my TV and stuff like that and being happy with it, it might seem like, you know, Samsung's in my back pocket, but I freaking hate those assholes, dude. Oh, you guys have no idea. Like, I could go on this entire live stream doing nothing but railing Samsung. I could literally do that, just simply because I have such an animosity towards them, and I don't think a lot of people know that. I think you think, like, it's like me and Samsung are like, you know, right now I've got a Samsung Snuggie on. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing like that. I really can't stand Samsung and what they've done. And then pushing that patch to my Q8, I could slap somebody. Like, you guys don't even know. If I knew who did it, and they were in my direct line of sight, somebody's hand is going to have no time to react to what's about to happen. Like, it's just, they're just gonna be twitching on the ground, dude. I'd be so angry. So, like, shakingly angry. You guys know when you get your blood boiling, your hands start jittering, you know, you get that, like, pre-anger diabetes. That's what would happen. Like, it'd be very bad. Like, oh, to destroy my TV like that for no reason, you know? Now, what's going on, Michael? You said, got the 55-inch Q6 for $800, and you were saying, is it a deal? You're saying, hope so. Still have time to return it. $800. $800. You got the Q6 in the general vicinity of that. I would say if you are brave enough to explore the Vizio M series. The Vizio M series has more, obviously, black level control, because again, it's just putting more out there. And I think if you go up to the highest end, around the $900 price point, just a little bit more than what you're spending, you probably get a lot more for the money too than what the Q60R is offering. Now, obviously, Q6FN kind of like the more of the same story, especially because that, again, they're edgelit TVs, and that's not really, I don't recommend edgelit in 2019. Just being real with you, man. But for $800, I don't think it's bad. It's a 55-inch for $800. You can't beat it. That's not bad. What's going on, Troy? You said take care, QA, eating dinner with the wife. Hey, man, family first. You got to do what you got to do. I appreciate you stopping by today. I really do. I know how it is. I mean, there are moments where my wife's just looking at me like, dude, it's time to get off the stream and it's time to eat. The family's waiting. So believe me, don't make your wife angry. You know, don't, you know, I'm not worth it. I'm not worth it at all, bro. I appreciate you stopping by and showing the love, Troy. Everybody give a big shout out to Troy for stopping by, and, you know, hey, have a great time with the family and with the wife and all that, and have a good night, man. Now, what's going on, Stuart? What's happening? You said best looking game on Xbox One X right now. I'm trying to think what's the best looking game. Best looking game on Xbox One X right now. I don't know if, like, there's a statement in that. I hope not. Maybe I'm like I'm missing something. Maybe I probably am. But in my opinion, I think what the best looking game on Xbox One X right now is, if I had to pick one, like on the spot, it would probably end up being the Tomb Raider games. Tie between Tomb Raider games and Forza. They just look really good. Like, they really do. Especially like that newer one. That new one has a lot of pretty good visuals. What's going on? Leb Mike, what's happening? You said, hey, Quantum, nice to have you back. You were saying, thought you'd be gone for a little longer. Nah, just a week. That's all I had the ability to do. And then you were saying, thoughts on the Q8FN 65-inch from Best Buy open box. I would not do any open box television unless you could guarantee that they would cover you if something happened, you know what I mean? Because it's opened up, so you basically don't really have a warranty, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not a brand new product. Now, it depends. Maybe they didn't register the product or whatever the case may be. You might want to check with the manufacturer. I'd be iffy about open box and refurbished products. I definitely would be. Especially for that price point of $1150, my dude, you can definitely get yourself a solid television for that price point. Most definitely. What's going on, Michael? You were saying, dude, Game Boy Color has changed my life. Or you're saying Game Boy Color changed my life. I'm with you, physical games forever. Yeah, man, I mean, whatever happened to that satisfaction, right? Where you walk into a gaming store and you pick up a physical disc and you crack it open when you get home. Am I the only? Let me know, guys. Let me know in the comment section. Am I a weirdo for doing this? But every time I get a new game, or at least I did back in the day, like PS2 era, I would smell the booklet because I like that fresh paper smell. I was like, and the disc smell, that new smell, like, new game, yes. And it's a physical thing. You don't get that with these digital games. Like, it's just like a computer generated code, and it's like a big FU. Even when you buy like PC games, it's just a physical empty game case with a digital code in there. It's such a joke, and I can't get into PC gaming just for that reason alone. Like, I like physical stuff, so that's just my thing. We've got Jackson. You were saying preach physical copies all the way, and I'm with you there, man. I just couldn't imagine. We got Kelly Ruvod saying again, physical copies all the way. Yeah, man, like, who would want anything outside of that? I personally can't imagine a world where most of my collection is nothing but digital stuff. That's unfulfilling. What's going on, Pyro 1997? You were saying preach Quantum, the Game Boy Advance. Man, Game Boy Advance, Amigo, way back. You were saying was a handheld that changed my life and perspective on gaming. Dude, how many of you guys sat up there with those lights? They were these they plug into the side of your Game Boy SP, your Game Boy Advance, and they curled, and they were like a little lamp that hovered over. Bro, I was sitting on my Game Boy Color, just sitting there at night with that little light on, and I had this one, like, it was like this one Mario game, and I'm just sitting there playing it. That and Tetris, I was like on that like all day, every day, dude. Like, I don't know why, but I was like super addicted to Tetris when I was a kid. And I was just going at it forever, dude. But oh man, that was, memories, bro. What's going on, Jackson? You were saying also thanks for your videos. Pull the trigger on the 65-inch Q9FN for 2K, no tax. And you were saying its update is 1202 from the factory, not connected to the internet because I don't want any updates I don't approve. Hey, that's what's up, man. And I'm glad I was able to help you out, man. You know, I really do wish I could go up that high and go to the Q9FN, but at it where it is right now, it is just way too much money, man. You know what I mean? I know a lot of you guys probably see me getting like a lot of these expensive TVs, like even the Q80R, or not the Q80R, the Q90R, and you're like, well, you could get that. There's two different kinds of funds. You know, there's my funds for buying stuff for me, and then there's the operation cost for the channel. And like, more often than not, when you guys see me buy a TV, it's not for me because I have a bunch of them, and so it's like more so just me just getting you guys the information you need. And it's hard because it's like there are TVs I'm like, damn, I really want to get this, but I don't have the budget for it. The channel does, but that's not how we roll, you know what I mean? And it's hard because it's like sometimes I can get a TV in and sometimes I can't, because when we get the more expensive the item, the lower our operation cost ends up being, because we have to sell TVs off at a loss, for those that don't know. I know a lot of people think it's just like this revolving door of like, haha, I buy a TV and I just return it back to the store. They would ban you 80 different ways from Sunday, you know what I mean? It just doesn't work. So you have to go on to Craigslist or wherever you can find somebody and say, hey man, you want to buy a TV on the cheap, or, you know, on the cheap or whatever, because what choice do you really have, you know? Go on Letgo or something like that, but you don't really have many options. And I think that's another part of this job that I do that really, that's why I ask for donations, because it's incredibly expensive to keep doing this, where I start off with $3,000 and at the end of it, nobody's gonna bite to that price, so I gotta go lower than that, and it's just like, ouch, you know? And then sometimes you can return it back and then that's great, but then you get in another TV where you can't necessarily do that, and after a while it definitely does, yeah, it sucks. It definitely sucks. So I'm glad you were able to pull the trigger on the Q9FN. That's a really good TV, man. Let me know if you have any problems or anything, and I'll do what I can. What's going on, Michael? What's happening? You were saying thanks for the honesty about the Q6FN. I mainly got it for FreeSync. Yeah, FreeSync is like one of those things I think everybody is getting into QLED for right now. It's because they're marketing that pretty well. I mean, even me, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, when they were like, hey, FreeSync, I was like, say no more. I'm there. You know, I was there getting my QLED. I mean, it was crazy. And I mean, even now, you know, I'm going to sound like that idiot, that one jerk, but I wanted it so bad for the FreeSync, and I don't even use it. I don't even use game mode or FreeSync because the blooming on the Q8 while in game mode is really bad. And I've mentioned this many times, but man, it's pretty darn bad. It's about as bad as the 900F. It's pretty bad. It's gross. Like, I don't know why they nerfed the black level performance that bad. I don't get it. Maybe it's something with processing, but not that deal. What's going on, Eddie? You were saying, what's up? You were saying, did you have a constantly smooth experience with Sony OS? I did. It was mostly smooth. You were saying from previous experience, it has been decent to extremely sluggish. Yeah, I didn't have one hiccup outside of the glitches when you're in, what is that? When you're using the internal applications, as I was mentioning in my review earlier today, you know, I don't know what the hell happened. Like, it's just 1 second you're watching a YouTube video, you're chilling, and the next 90% of your screen zoomed in. It's just the kind of party that they have over at Sony nowadays. And I'm not with it, so yeah. What's going on, Chris? You were saying, what up, Q? What's happening, man? You were saying, agreed, I bought the Q6F, I'm sorry, the 65-inch Q8FN based solely off of your honest review, and I appreciate that. You're saying, appreciate what you do. It's hard, it's a hard thing for someone to give an honest point of view. I mean, I wish that statement wasn't true, but it is true now, if you know what I mean. Like, I appreciate you, you know, showing the love. Man, it sucks, man. I really hate being the only one that is this honest. Like, it sucks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it sucks. Like, I mean, yes, there are people, and I'm gonna give everybody credit, like, there are guys like Ray Fisher and, you know, Deatherus, and people that are genuinely honest, but without an audience behind you, most people won't see your views because YouTube won't rank you. They'll just keep you at the bottom, and the guys at the top with like 100,000 subscribers and 80,000 subscribers, they will always be ranked #1 with minimal effort. Like, they can pump out a video about penguins, okay? And they are #1 in the category of penguins. That's just how it works. Subscribers are everything on YouTube to YouTube, along with watch time. It's terrible. But that, for you, means you get less honest information and more commercials by, again, people who are in place to act the way that corporations tell them to. You know what I mean? And I really, honestly, as a YouTuber who has received offers for sponsorships, I mean, all kinds of brand deals, people ask me to shill and to sell out. Like, hey, people value your community expertise and you in the AV space. Like, we would love to work with you. And I'm like, gee, I'm flattered, thanks, but I'm not for sale. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I wish other people would say that, because it's not hard. Well, it is hard to be honest, right? It doesn't pay the bills. Like, if you were trying to turn YouTube into your career, forget about it. Google AdSense doesn't pay out nearly as much as a brand saying, hey, listen, give me a glowing review on my product, and I'll send you another review unit, which will keep your channel alive and the public eating out of your hands. It's insane. So, yeah, I definitely appreciate comments like Chris and all the other guys tonight that have really been coming out and appreciating honesty, because it's a dead thing on YouTube, dude. Like, and if anybody out there in the mainstream, AV forums, digital trends, RTings, HDTV tests, a lot of you, if any of you are watching, I would love for you to join me. It's not hard to tell the truth about these products, right? Like, everybody can do this. Like, it's not hard to get a colorimeter, spectrophotometer, plug it into software, and tell people the exact numbers. But the way y'all are doing it is a little sketchy, and, I mean, really, tighten up, bros. Like, that's not it. If you don't tighten up, I'll be here to keep you in check. That being said, moving on to the next question. We've got Lee Varino. What's going on? You said, have you tested the new P Vizio Quantum X65? I have not tested it yet. I am trying to get my hands on that one, though. You were saying very curious about how it stacks up with your beloved Q8FN and the new Sony X950G or X850G. I only have one beloved in this world, maybe two, actually. I correct that and amend the statement. I only have two beloveds, my beautiful daughter and my loving wife. Now, outside of that, a television is a television to me. I don't care which one wins. That being said, the Q8FN and the Vizio, I'm going to just say this now. For everybody who didn't expect it, get it ready. I will early give that win to the Vizio. Just off of what I read from the spec sheet, I probably won't even need to look at it to know. It'll probably beat the QLED, Q8FN. Just saying. But I want to be fair about it, and I want to get it in and test it and do all the fun stuff we love to do. And I might have to come out of pocket, because after I see it, I'm probably going to keep it. You know what I mean? So I'll have to be coming off of like, what? I don't even know how much that thing is. It's so damn expensive. My wife's just going to kill me. She's going to be like, what the hell, dude? I have so many TVs running around here. I really need to start selling TVs off to people more than I do right now, you know, because I still have some older ones I could get rid of, but, you know, I don't know. I got to find buyers. What's going on? Lee, you said also that Sony 70-inch is under $1,100. Oh, yeah, the 850G. Dude, I don't trust the 850 line. The 850 line has never been good. Sony has literally never tried with that particular line. Honestly, their full array line is a joke. And anything, honestly, dude, anything below the 900 series is a joke from Sony that's best left shelved. I don't even know why they make it. And then the 900 series is turning into a joke to push OLED. So it's a double-edged sword. And in essence, Sony is turning into the laughingstock of the manufacturing world, because they produce awesome sharpness, clarity, motion in some cases, and then it gets to the black levels and they're like, haha, fuck you, Mr. Customer, go over and buy my OLED. And it's like, thank you for nothing. Your OLEDs are not only overpriced to a substantial degree over LG, and then you're also using their LG panels, but then you guys are doing things like forcing us to adhere to your terms of service. So guess where we're going to go? LG OLED, which is why most guys just do that, because not only are they more affordable, but I mean, it's the same damn panel. And I love when I was doing my, I stopped doing it. I just gave up, by the way. For those guys that wanted to know why I don't do this anymore, I was doing like OLED versus QLED versus all these other TVs, but I hit a realization, right? You guys don't actually care if OLED wins or loses. People care about lip service, and I was noticing that in the comment section. They're like, OLED will always be better, period. And those are the guys that you will never change. You know what I mean? The guy that's always like, well, you obviously went in and intentionally changed this. It's like, yes, because after working a long damn day, I'm gonna sit here and intentionally, deliberately destroy a television that you were waiting for months, just for the sole purpose of being a dickbag. Yes, that's my goal. That's what I'm after, to trick you. It's like, I'm not sponsored. I don't have to do that kind of crap. You know what I mean? Now, if I was, you know, sponsored by Crampton and More and all those other guys shilling phone numbers, then yeah, I probably got to lie to you about the specs, because, I mean, how else am I going to keep my channel alive? But that's just not the kind of party this is. Now, what's going on? Reigns. That's a cool name. Reigns. Not bad. What's going on? You said, have you tried Red Dead Redemption 2? They claim they fixed the HDR on it, but to me, colors still seem very washed. I have not tried Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm not a big fan of Westerns. I know, oh, Quantum, how could you? No, I know. But I never really got into it, you know what I mean? But, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I wish I could check that game out, but, like, I have... What's lower than 0? You know what I mean? Like, that's my level of interest in this game. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a Western guy, you know what I mean? I think, alright, to be fair, I think the only cool thing is you can walk around and you can, like, do a lot of the cool stuff Shiraku was showing off that he ended up getting banned for. I won't say it because it'll probably be hateful or called hate speech, but whatever. You know, I thought those videos were funny and amusing, but apparently even funny and amusing to us is just, like, offensive to other people, so, like, we will just leave it there. But essentially, yeah, no, I mean, I think that aspect of it is cool. The violence is cool, but ultimately, I don't know, not a Western guy. But throwing people off mountains, that's that deal. Lee Mike, what's happening? You said LOL. I agree with you on the media, going back to the Sega days, man. Sega, come on, man. Who didn't love Sega, dude? Like, Nazis, that's who. Nazis. What's going on, Crash? You said, yes, I'm a weirdo. Like you, I always smell the disc, my disc. Yeah, bro, like who doesn't do that? Like that's the coolest thing about getting a new game or a new movie. Like I still do that with movies, by the way. Like I still like crack it open, like yes, that new like clean chemical cancer factory smell. I don't know. It's just a thing I do. What's going on, Stuart? What's happening? You said later, Q. All right, man. Later. Thanks for stopping by tonight. I appreciate being a part of the community tonight. Catch, what's going on? You said not weird. Did the same thing, but to my clip speakers, brand new solid smell. Yo, I think that would be pretty cool though to smell like the wood of like a nice speaker system or speaker tower. You know, or if you've got like one of the, even the nice plastic ones, I'm not gonna lie, I like to smell a lot of the new stuff that I buy just for the new smell, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think it's that weird. I don't know. Thinking about it out loud, you know. What is the best 4K TV for gaming? The best 4K TV for gaming will be the Q8FN, well, if we're talking about just gaming, alright, I'll do it like this, okay? The Q9FN, the Q8FN, the Q7FN for a living room situation, the Q6FN for a living room situation. You can go with the Q80R, that's decent for 2019. Q70R, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can get away with it in a bright room. But if you have access to any of the older TVs, I would just do that. Unless, for whatever reason, you're that person who is practicing acrobatics, right? And you need those off angles. That is the most important part of your life. Then you might want to go with the Q80R because they do have improved angles, but just be warned that it does come at the risk of those lower black levels that, again, don't look good. So again, I don't know, just turn on a lamp or two and that would solve most of the problems that I complain about all the time with many of these TVs, but even still, it's worth mentioning. I don't recommend OLED for gaming. I know people out there are probably like, no, why? No OLED. Yeah, I can't do OLED for gaming just simply because there's a big problem with OLED, and that problem is simply burn-in. And if you're doing a campaign rush, which who doesn't like to sit, you know, like take a day or two off of work, you know what I mean? I'm sick type deal, you know? And then you go in there and you're just enjoying just the beauty of your story mode. Like that's, I mean, come on. I've done that so many times. And yeah, it's living. It's a culture, I think, at this point. We've got Crash. You said, do you pirate movies? No, I don't pirate movies. I actually am one of the lame guys that go to the retail store and buy them brand new, which reminds me, I am due to buy another movie and I forgot all about it. You guys are going to laugh at me. I'm like probably like the only grown man excited for this right now. You guys ready? You guys ready for this? Like, I'm excited for How to Train Your Dragon 3. I went to see it in the movie theaters and I loved it, and I can't wait to buy it and see it on my Q8. So don't judge me or judge me. Either way, I'm so excited for that freaking movie. It was a ballet of color, especially when they were going through that one little freaking area. Oh my god, I love that movie. How to Train Your Dragon is a very special movie to me. I think it's dope, and I can't wait to just see it on my TV. But yeah, no, I don't pirate movies. Maybe, but no, I don't. I'm actually a pretty straight-laced guy. Pretty boring. What's going on, Jackson? You were saying, at the time, my option for a new Q8FN was $1,800, so I bid the $200 difference, and you were saying, and it was factory new with the factory warranty, most I've ever spent on a TV. Yeah, it's getting to that point, isn't it? Where like we're at a real kind of chisty point in history where they're like, yeah, you know the days of you paying $1,000 and $1,500 and getting a good TV, yeah, those days are done, bro. Forget about it. You know what's gonna happen now? You're gonna pay us excess of, what do you say, $2,000, and then you'll get what we were giving you back when you were paying $15. It's a joke. I'm so sorry you had to do that, but I'm probably gonna end up doing the same exact thing. What's going on? Health, I keep messing your name up. Healthful Servant. You were saying, want to sell your Q8FN? Just asking. I mean, I'm open to selling almost any TV. I mean, I would think about it. It would depend on a number. It would depend on how I would figure out some weird ninja way of concealing my entire identity and, you know, existence. I mean, that would be always a risk. So obviously I don't have, you know, that information floating out. But I mean, I'm open to that. I mean, my wife has been telling me for the longest time, you know, you could just sell your TVs, through YouTube. You could just do that. People would buy them, especially because you guys know I'd probably calibrate it up. You know what I mean? And that'd be a super bonus that no used person would give you. Which, food for thought. I need to start listening to my wife. I really do. She has some great advice, and saying it out loud, that makes sense. Like, if I was buying a TV and some dude was a professional calibrator and he was like, dude, I professionally calibrated this. Here you go. I'd be like, fuck you, you're stupid, I don't know. I'd probably laugh at him. I really would, though. But yeah, no, I mean, I would think about it. I'm not going to lie. I would think about it. Even now, you see how I'm still mulling it over? I'm like, maybe. I'm not closed-minded. What's going on, Juan? You said, given a choice between LG C9, the Samsung Q90R, and the 2018 Q900R 8K, which one would you buy? They all cost the same exact price, and the Q900 comes with a free upgrade for the One Connect box. Now, for me personally, I would go with the LG C9 all day, every day of the week, without question or without fail, regardless of what you've seen on Digital Trends, ranting and raving about, evolution of whatever, and you've seen on, again, all these other reporters and reviewers. The Q90R is not the next step forward for LED. It is not this revolution, this game-changing thing. Instead, the Q90R is a scale-back TV from the Q9FN. So you know what I find funny? You guys ready? Let's take a walk down hypocrite lane, right? I think it's funny how they can say that the Q90R is the most revolutionary thing, but then we look at the numbers, we actually test it, it's measuring far higher than the Q90R on virtually every metric. So what does that say about all the reviews on it last year? They were all poppycock and full of crap. They should have come out and said that that was the next leap forward, but they didn't. And I think that's the thing that we need to mention here. I think they're kind of having their cake and eating it too, because now they want to play on the viewing angle technology and say, see, LEDs are great because now they have viewing angles like OLED. But the black levels got worse because of it. They're jackasses. Now, moving on for my slight rant, I still say the LG C9 because, yes, the risk of burning is there. You're not getting away with that. And, I mean, let's be real. The price of the TV is not the price of the TV. You better, if you plan on being safe, buy another warranty. I think that's just, I mean, we know that's how the game with OLED works, which is why few people like it. But even still, HDR is fundamentally better than the Q90R. Color is fundamentally better than the Q90R. The overall experience better than the Q90R. The Q90R was a joke. Now, when we're talking about the Q900R 8K, 8K is too early. They are hosing you down. And you're going to need to upgrade when they come out with 12-bit 8K HDMI 2.1 TVs. I've been trying to explain this for the longest time, and people like close and plug their ears with all kinds of crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you, that's the future. That's where TVs are eventually going to go. They're not ready for that yet. So what are they doing? They're pumping out a 10-bit 8K on less than mediocre specs. I'm telling you right now, you're going to have to upgrade that, and you're going to pay an arm and a leg to upgrade something. Why? And so, by default, the only real option is the LG C9, which has HDMI 2.1 support in some capacity, which, again, I think is absolutely brilliant. Now, moving on to the second part, you were saying use case for Netflix, or what were you saying, use case TV for 3 to 5... I guess you're just talking about your usage at this point. Yeah, I mean, even still, you'd still be better off with OLED for that one. What's going on, Chevy Made? What's happening? You said, how was the vacation? And what's your opinion on bias lighting? Well, my vacation was pretty killer. I got bit by some horse flies. They were pretty big. It sucked a lot, and it happened. I even actually sprained my ankle, but then I got over it in like a day, so that was pretty nice. My dumb ass, for those of you guys that are wondering, you guys ever want to know if there's a lifeguard at a spring and they tell you, do not jump in the water, don't jump in the water. Me being an adult, I know everything, right? So my dumb ass is going to jump in the water, and no sooner than I do, I hit the rock at the bottom and my ankle goes sideways, and there goes the sprained ankle. But even still, I had fun. It was a great trip. I really did love it. Saw some amazing things, and I'm so happy I did that even now I'm just like, I need to do a vacation more often. I like vacationing. So, the bias lighting question. I think bias lighting is fundamentally important to literally anybody who has an LED TV. Whether you have the best one or the worst one, your TV can jump up quite a few tiers if you aren't afraid to shine some light on that bad boy. And I think the biggest way of doing that is, again, just keep a lamp or two on. You don't even have to buy bias lighting, to be honest with you. Don't be afraid to turn lamps on. Get strategic. Place lamps off to the side of the television. That would help dramatically. You don't always have to spend a lot of money if you've already got things like that. Now, if you want to decorate the back of your TV and physical bias lighting, you know, you can do that as well. And I think it works great. I think you would need, to cover the entirety of your TV, because just one strip ain't gonna cut it. You need to go the full perimeter of the TV, and in which case, yeah, it's alright, but over time, the bias lighting strips do get dimmer, so that's important to know. Like, they do degrade as time goes on, and I'm talking like over the course of like 3 to 4 years, and that's what I've experienced with my bias lighting. And of course, then you need to replace it, or whatever the case may be. And I've even found that some colors stop working by auto command, so like, or manual command. So I noticed, like, on my bias lighting strip, for example, the color orange no longer works. Like, I can't even access it. But if I set it to auto loop, then it magically works. It's the stupidest thing, but c'est la vie. So yeah, I think it's great, but ultimately it's not perfect. What's going on, Lee? You were saying Q. I was referring to the X830F 70-inch. Yeah, that's a pretty decent TV. That's not bad. Not bad at all. I think that's a pretty decent TV for the price, most definitely. Especially for that price point. I've said like 8 times, but yeah, I think it's pretty good. Crash, what's going on? You said, do HDMI splitters affect the video quality? Yes, they do. Depending on what HDMI splitter you get, you can have one that, again, isn't as clean as the other one, and then your audio gets messed up. And again, like, between the two sources, it can't cleanly split the audio, and sometimes you'll only have partial audio. And then in other cases in the scenario, your picture can just look off. So yeah, HDMI splitters are iffy. I would not be using that as my main source of, connecting a television at all. Zombieland 18, you said, what do you think about LG NanoCell TVs? I think LG NanoCell TVs aren't bad, especially this year. I think they've tried a little harder than they have in years prior, because they got knocked around a little bit. I got to get my hands on one, or physically work on one, to be able to, again, tell you all of the nitty gritty. But so far, from what I can tell, I think they've done a good job. I mean, LG in general, when it comes to colors, they're okay with getting that part pretty decent. It's those black levels that I think ultimately would be make or break for them. And if the blooming's not on point, then that's where I would have to just say, all right, sorry, but no cigar, you know what I mean? And that's just kind of how I feel about it. But I think that it could be promising, but ultimately their OLED line does get in the way, similar to Sony. And Sony, to be quite real, is taking a page out of LG's book, because they see that the LED consumers aren't pushing back. Nobody is saying, listen, I know what you're doing. You have an OLED line, you have an LED line, but why can't we just respect the fact that both technologies are different? You give me an awesome LED television, and then in return, I give you my money. You know what I mean? But it just doesn't happen like that, so c'est la vie. Now, what's going on, George? You said, loving my Q8FN, but the KS8000 still holds its own. It definitely does. We got Enoch. You're saying very skeptical how Digital Trends seems to claim that the newer P-Series Quantum regarding the peak brightness, claiming they have 2900. I know, like, the specs from Vizio officially does state that they have for the 75-incher is 2700 nits. Ultra bright is what they're calling it. Ultra bright 2700. And then the lower end 65 inches claiming 3000 nits. So I don't. It's not necessarily Digital Trends. It's more so just going off of the spec sheet. But like, I would have to definitely fact check Vizio on that one for sure. And I'm looking to do that with like the P Series Quantum X. Obviously, I can't do it yet. But yeah, not to rush to the defense of anybody, but they're not really. They're not doing anything wrong in that regard. They're, for change, I have to say, actually just regurgitating what they heard from the manufacturer. What's going on, Mariano? You said How to Train Your Dragon is an awesome film, LOL. Nice, somebody gets it. I love that movie. What's going on, Mariano? You said QA, how do you feel about the TCL brand? And you were saying, and yes, I'd be interested if you started selling TVs on here. That's good to know. I really don't even, I don't know, go about the whole selling TV thing. Like, if you guys can't tell, I'm like a very secretive person. I'm very weird about identity and secrecy and all that stuff. I'm weird like that. I'm like, you got to be careful. You got a family, that kind of thing. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. I gotta find a safe way to do it, but like, you know, somebody like Mariano, by all means, I mean, I wouldn't have any problem just being like, hey bro, you can know who I am and you can just, you know, I'll sell you whatever. You know, because I mean, like, we build up that rapport over the course of time just talking and things like that. Same goes with Ray and a lot of you other guys like Daniel, and like, you guys just, we talk a lot, like, you know. And that, I think those are ultimately the people I'd be like, alright, you guys are cool, you know. It's the newer guys that I'm not really too familiar with that I'd be a little on the like, well, wait a minute, you know. And that's just kind of like how I am, but I think that's anybody though when you meet somebody new. But yeah, how do I feel about TCL? TCL, I think, has potential. I think they have a promising future if they don't get arrogant and cocky and they can listen to, again, just consumers. Put that before everything else, and I think they have a future. They really do. The problem, though, that I'm noticing is they're jumping the gun a little bit, it seems like. It seems like this year the only high-end TV they're coming out with is their, like, it's, I guess, being renamed to the R6 series, and it's going to be their QLED model, but problem being, they have an 8K model, which will have all the better brightness, and that doesn't help anybody when they want $34.99 for it, or somewhere close to that ballpark. So TCL jumping the gun a little bit here. I think they need to actually build up an audience first, and people who want their TVs, because right now I don't know anybody beating down the doors like, yes, give me that TCL over everything on the market. They don't have the market share like that, so I think they're getting a little cocky and they need to calm down. But that's just from a professional's perspective. What's going on? Crash, what's happening? You said, does the Monster Power Brick improve picture quality because it says it can clean up the power and get rid of all this noise and stuff like fade to black? I actually haven't had the chance to verify or fact check any of this. I know people are saying that you want to have, again, clean power coming from, you know, cleaning up the outlet power and making sure that it again, just cleanses out your impurities. And honestly, I don't notice a damn difference right now with what I have, and I couldn't imagine it making that much of a difference. And honestly, having a separate thing to clean my outlet power, I'm not that guy. I couldn't care less about that. All I care about is, are my calibrations on point? Is the picture looking good with the power I have that's dirty and compressed, so to speak? And quite honestly, I feel like it's like a tomato thing. Maybe some might notice, but I don't know. And then you were saying on the 930E, he claims it improved picture quality. It might have. I'm not going to discredit anybody. If I haven't tried it, I haven't tried it. And I'll say, like, honestly, I wouldn't know, to be very honest with you. No clue. Now, we've got Alex. You said, should I pay $400 more for a Q8F over the NU8000? I'm buying this weekend. For a Q8F. Now, is it a Q8F from 2017 or is it a Q8FN? That would make a big difference. If it's a Q8F, no. If it's a Q8FN, hell yeah. Definitely, most 100% definitely, that's going to be a winner. The NU8000 isn't worth its weight in gold without the quantum dots by comparison. And again, the amount of aggressive local dimming algorithms that they've put behind this thing is just on another level. They've tweaked the Q8FN and be like a beast in a darkroom environment. It's insane what you can do. And sorry, but the NU8000 isn't getting down like that. They hold their own for a budget TV, to be fair, but not to that degree. Crash says, what's the difference between Cinema Pro and Cinema Home? Cinema Pro is for more of the brighter highlights. It gets really brighter than Cinema Home. It's kind of like, it's like for that person that values, again, just probably like the brightest peak highlights out of all the things, like, because I can get much brighter highlights out of Cinema Pro than I usually can in Cinema Home. Now, Cinema Home is just for like the end user, and it's, you know, it's very similar to Cinema Pro. Like, you can calibrate those two to look very identical, and I think it's really cool because, like, that's kind of like the, I guess, if you would, solution to having a Cal Night and a Cal Day mode, or a day and night calibration mode. You can have those two cinema profiles under Pro for professional and home for just like the general usage. But I mean, really, it's tomato and tomato. Cinema Pro is slightly brighter, especially with HDR, and Cinema Home not so much. But that's really the big difference. There's not really that big of a difference. But ironically enough, in the brand new Sony X950G, there isn't even a Cinema Home or Cinema Pro. They ripped that option out, and instead it's just Cinema. Lame. I mean, the scale backs are getting ridiculous, and I'm, you know, I get it. I get that people are paid off to give glowing reviews, but for Christ's sake, just say, hey, last year we had this feature and we don't. What happened? Like, it's not hard. And it gets old when I'm the only one saying it, and like the information is just missing everybody. Like the thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that watch these videos, nobody is paying attention to this stuff. So it's really frustrating for me because it's just like, you guys don't understand. We're losing out this year. We're not gaining. He's lying to you. They're like, oh, shut up, Quantum. Sit down. You're too small to give an opinion. We only like the guys that were given to us by Sony to tell us what Sony wants them to tell us. And it's just ridiculous. It's what I deal with every day. Now, what's going on, Eric? He said, almost got the Sony X950G at Best Buy, but, or you said, but the Best Buy had an open box Z9D instead, and you were saying you love, yeah, why not get the Z9D? That's, I mean, bro, no comparison at all. Like, no. Definitely, you did good with the Z9D, even open box, even though I usually recommend against that. If that was your only choice, yeah. Alex, what's going on? You said, it is a Q8FN. Yeah, the Q8FN, and yeah, that'd be worth the $400. Crash, you were saying, I won't upgrade my TV until 12 panels arrive and are affordable. Yeah, that'll be for quite a minute, you know what I mean? Hey, Crash, what TV are you using right now? I don't actually know what TV you have. I'm thinking like maybe a 930, maybe a 900E. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I'm thinking it's one of those two from what I can remember from the past. But let me know. What's going on, Healthful Servant? You said, do you know any deals on the Q8FN going on this Memorial Day weekend? And you were saying, do you think it would be better to wait until Black Friday this year? I don't actually know any sales going on right now. I know the everyday price of the Q8 is like $12.98. That's just what it has been. So I'm going to imagine that's just kind of what they're going to ride out with for the remainder of the year. So that's pretty much it. And Crash says, I have the X930E 65-inch. Yeah, I kind of figured it was one of those two, so thank you for getting back to me on that. Yeah, 930E, I mean, still, like, even with all the BS behind what I went through, I'm still looking at the 930E like, man, that was a great TV. It was absolutely fantastic. Why would you need to upgrade? You know what I mean? It's just an ace TV, especially if you won the panel lottery. That's just, they don't make TVs like that anymore. They just don't. What's a good price on the 65-inch Q8FN? A good price is $1,700. That's fair. That's pretty fair. All right, guys, so with that, I'm going to be ending this week's live stream, and we're just going to kind of round out with our final question of the night coming in from Daniel. And you said, hey, QA, just wondering if you would recommend the 75-inch Z9D with the manufacturer or with a 2-year warranty for $2,500. Yeah, I'd do that. That's a pretty damn good deal. Again, Z9D, 930E, what else? 900E. These are pretty darn good TVs. They don't make TVs like that anymore. They just don't. And if you can find one of those, the Q9FN, while you still have the chance, the Q8FN, these are TVs that get the quantum stamp of approval. Like, above all these TVs I've seen, those TVs are a step above, like, plus ultra style, man. Like, those TVs are fantastic. So, yeah, you're safe with that TV. It's pretty good. Fantastic. You have some issues here and there. Nothing's perfect, but definitely a good TV. And you said, thanks, man. Hope you enjoyed your family time. I definitely did. It was a blast, dude. Like, I had loads of fun. And big shout out to Mariano for the donation of $4.99. It definitely helps a lot. You said, thanks as always, your vids and your stream. I appreciate it, man. I really do. Like, I mean, really, you guys have no idea. It really does help me get in a lot of these products that we need to talk about. And it's just like, thank you, man. Like, really, I truly am grateful for your help. So thank you, man. And Healthful Servant says, thanks again, as always. Yeah, man, you guys are awesome. Hey, listen, if you guys, again, want to have conversations, make sure you're dropping your phone numbers over on the Facebook page. Just leave your username from YouTube so I know who you are and we can have that conversation and that dialogue. So if I ever call you in, or just call you, rather, it's not going to be like, hey, this is who again? Who are you? Yeah, I'm Quantum, but I'm calling who? Yeah, that'd be a very awkward call. I've actually made a couple of those, and I try to get better with that. And Crash says, I will tell you something that I didn't tell you. I'm just a 16-year-old and saved my money for 1 year and 5 months just to buy a freaking TV. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being 16 years old, bro. Absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Bro, when I was 16, I wish I could have had a Sony X930E. Are you kidding me? Bro, my first TV was, I don't even know, it was a what was it? A Sylvia, I think it was? No, it was a SV2000. That was, well, my first TV that was color, I will say. Because, truth be told, my first TV was the ones with the little dials on it, and you've got to, like, twist the knobs and all that other crap, and it was, like, really awkward, and it's, like, from, like, God, I don't even know when. It was old, you know, and it makes some sound, tick, 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 no remote, you know, bunny ears. That's where I came from. So, dude, you saving up, doing your thing, man, hey, that's big living. That's how you do it, man. You know, you save and you do what you have to do, and that's yeah, that's how I had to do it. And honestly, dude, like, that's how I get all of the TVs that I end up buying personally. I don't have the bankroll to be able to just run out and buy thousands of dollars worth of a television. I have to sit like everybody else and save and make buying decisions. And that's why I ultimately get so offended when I see the mainstream paid off, you know, brought to you by Crampton and More and other retailer reviewers lie to you about stuff, because I'm sitting here saving like you guys are, and they're over there like, this is the best thing, Sony's winning, OLED's best. And I'm just like, bro, if you see what Digital Trends is doing, they're getting worse with it now, with the, like, the thumbnail naming. It's just cancers at this point. I facepalm every time. I'm like, oh my god, give it a rest, guy. You know, it's just, they'll do anything for views and to keep the channel alive because people click, and as long as they click, there's the money. I get it, it's a business, but we're not in that business, and so, yeah, I feel you, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with being 16 years old. In fact, I have respect, more respect, knowing that you're just 16 years old and you're saving up to buy a 930E. I'm like, dude, I wish I could freaking do that. That's like kick-ass, man. That's like some superhero type shit, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't have done that back when I was 16. When I was 16, I was off just freaking working miserably and paying bills. Very depressing. But you, sir, you got the right idea. I think actually, I was actually at 16, like, paying bills and then buying clothes for myself, like every teenager. Like, I didn't think to put my money where it mattered. I wish I could go back in time. I'd have some assets by now. But that being said, Crash says, thanks, QA, you just made my day. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to just hang out with you guys, man. And Daniel says, D-Just for the sub. And you were saying, thinking of, that was talking about the NU8000. I just bought the NU9000. Maybe it's a European model, I guess. And you were saying, yes, I love the, or you were saying, yes, it's no Q8, but I love it until the Z9D. Gotcha. I'm here now. I'm tracking. All right, guys. Mad love to you guys for coming out, and for all 32 of you guys watching and being a part of this community. Hey, you guys know, every Friday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes I take a little longer, sometimes I don't. It just depends on, again, like how late I get off of work and, you know, time to travel over here, family, and all that other stuff. But I usually am pretty good with sticking on time, and we usually get started around there. And going forward, I think I'll just keep doing this, where I'll try to address as many questions through the videos that I got either during the day or throughout the week, and we'll just go at it that way and try to, again, reach more people this way, because I know, like, just answering comments from the live stream gets a little limited. But today we had a pretty decent turnout, and we had a lot of people asking questions. So again, don't feel afraid to talk, man. I'm an open door. I literally am a person like anybody you could meet. Like, just ask me something and I'll tell you. Like, it's that simple, dude. We're friends, you know? That's how it works. What's going on, Daniel? You said use Q8 KS8000 settings. Great. Yeah, man. And anybody else, try those settings out. Oh, before I go, one last thing I forgot to mention. I'm like a workaholic, I know. If you check out the playlist, I've added quite a few things. There's like an open door testing. There's a bunch of different things, peak brightness tests and all that. So if you have questions on like where to find things, check the playlist, seriously, because I've been doing some updating on the playlist. And also make sure that you read the brand new about section for the community, because it does kind of outline why we are what we are and why we do what we do. So that being said, thanks for watching the #1 brand in honesty. That is going to conclude this week's live stream / your Q&A and weekly gossip hour. And until the next video, I will see you guys later.